Hello, everyone, and welcome to Introduction to Hoopla. I would like to introduce you to your presenter, Midwest Tape Account Executive, Corey Ederling. So take it away, Corey.
Hey, everybody. As Rob mentioned, my name is Corey Ederling. I am the account rep for the library. I work with a lot of the Michigan library systems, so it's a big pleasure when he asked me to present this to you. So I appreciate everybody carving out a little bit of time this evening. I definitely don't want to take too much of it. I told Rob I think we can cover most of the basics of Hoopla in about an hour. But I do want to make sure that you guys get your questions answered. I know he has everybody muted, so feel free to type in that chat box. And Rob, if you want, let me know if anything comes in. As I sometimes get going, I don't check the chat box, so he can definitely interrupt me, and I'll be happy to answer that. So to get started here, what I want to do is share my screen. And I am going to assume this presentation will be just kind of a basic overview. So what I want to go over is kind of what Hoopla is, and then what I want to do is spend some time on the Hoopla website and walk you through all the different formats that we have, some of the functionality on there. And for time purposes, what I did is I did capture a few screenshots from the mobile app, because the mobile app will look a little bit different. So I just wanted to make sure we cover all our bases, but we will spend most of our time going through the website edition of Hoopla. So first thing I want to share with you here, this is kind of the agenda today. As I mentioned, we're going to go over basics of Hoopla. We're going to spend a lot of time on that hoopladigital.com site. I'm going to show you around there. I'm going to give you a device look. So that's going to be your iOS, your Android, your Amazon tablets. And then I did put Q&A at the end, but as I mentioned, very casual. So if you have questions, I want to make sure I get those answered for you today. So what Hoopla is, and I don't know if anybody in the room has actually used it before, but it's a model that's built for patron satisfaction. We know we live in a society where, you want it, you find it, you want to get it right away. You don't want to have to wait. And that's what Hoopla prides itself on is, all of the items we have on Hoopla are instantly available, meaning there are no holds. We currently have over 900,000 titles available in all 6 formats that are at your fingertips that you can borrow. As I mentioned, there are no holds. Content is always available. I know Dearborn Heights is offering 15 circulations per month. If you're not aware what that is, you can get 15 titles each calendar month to enjoy, and that's out of the 6 formats. So what Hoopla is we do kind of keep to the library lending model that you're used to, meaning you can go to Hoopla, you can browse, you can borrow items, you can play, and then you can return them. The one thing I want to stress is there is no late fees or anything with Hoopla, so everything auto returns when the time's up. So you don't have to worry about hopping in and returning something. If you forget to do that, it's automatically going to return, and you don't really have to worry about anybody not being able to get the item because you have it checked out, because there are no holds. Just so everybody knows, as a reference, all the videos, so that's movies and television, are all 3-day borrows, meaning the time you click borrow to the time it automatically returns, you have 3 days. Music albums are 7 days. And what's really cool about our music is they are the full album. So the same experience you would have, on the physical side, you're going to have it on the digital experience side as well. I know Van Halen, there was some really sad news that came out today. So, we have many of his albums available on our service. And then the other ones is we also have audiobooks, we have ebooks, and we have comics. These are some of our largest collections. Ebooks alone, we have over 400,000 ebooks. Audiobooks were over 100,000 items. And then comics, we are the largest provider of digital comics in the library space. We do work with everybody. So we're going to touch on all that today. The other things I always like to point out, so obviously we are accessible, meaning any way that you really want to access Hoopla, you can do it. If it's on your mobile devices, like your iOS or Android or even Amazon Fire tablets, If it's the PC or laptops, you can access this on the website at hoopladigital.com. And then we also support now all the set-top boxes. So those are your Rokus and Apple TVs, Fire TVs, so you can enjoy the videos on the big screen. Okay. So the first thing I want to show here is, and hopefully everybody can see the screen, is this is the Dearborn Heights Library's webpage. You know, and there's a lot of great resources on here. I know I was kind of digging around with it the other day. A lot of neat stuff to look at and kind of explore the catalog and things like that. But for this demo purpose, what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to electronic resources. We're going to click on that. We're going to scroll down here, and I'm sorry if it's a little slow or it's a little choppy. You'll notice all the different services that Dearborn Heights is providing to their community. You will notice right here in first place is Hoopla. It has a little snippet of what it is and the items and device helps and things like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and click on Hoopla right here. And what this is going to do is take me right over to the Hoopla Digital website. When you do go to the website, let me try to move this. When you do go to the website, if you don't have an account, it's very, very simple. All you would have to do is click on, let me log out of this real quick. So what you would do is click on the Get Started section here. You will put in your email address. You'll have to confirm it. You create a Hoopla password. This could be anything, but it's got to be between 8 and 40 digits or 40 characters long. You confirm it as well. And then you click on, I'm sorry, this pop up here. And then you click Agree. The next section will be, you actually pick your library. So you'll find Dearborn Heights. You'll put in your library card number, the PIN number if your library requests that, and then
Corey?
Yes.
I don't think you're on the right screen. We don't see the right screen.
No, the screen isn't changing.
Always. Okay. Let's see what's happening here.
Thank you. I thought it was just me.
No, I apologize. This is new share. Oh, that could be why.
The slides, it says time to play at the top.
Okay.
Is the slide I see.
Can you see it now?
No, it hasn't changed.
Okay, let's. What about now?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So guys, just to go back here, I wanted to share this with you here real quick. So you probably didn't see anything I was showing you on the Dearborn site, but if you go to the top up here, electronic resources, you click on that, you scroll down, and you'll notice all the different services that they offer at the library system. But for Hoopla is what we're focusing on today. You would just click on the Hoopla link here, and it will take you over to the Hoopla Digital website. Now, as I mentioned, you probably couldn't see, but if you don't have an account with Hoopla yet, so that's one thing you're going to have to set up. It's a one-time setup. After that, you just log in with your email address and the password you created for Hoopla. But all you would do is click down here at Get Started. You put in your email address twice, your password twice, and then down here at the bottom is an Agree button. Once you go to the next page, you pick your library system that you're signing up for, put in your library card information, and click Save, and you have an account then. As I mentioned, it's a one-time setup, meaning you don't have to do it. You know, again, if you don't want to. Sorry, just gotta log in here real quick.
So Corey,
Yes.
can anybody sign in?
What do you mean by that? Let me.
Well, like if we're at the library and someone says they want to sign up for Hoopla, but they're not in our library system.
No, they would have to. That's a great question, Rob. So you would have to get a library card first because we want to verify that they are a library patron. So we would then, if you don't have a library card, it's going to prompt you to, hey, swing by the library or,
Okay.
give them a call to get a card. So yes.
Yeah. But if they had like a library card with, say, Redford or even as far out as uh, Taylor,
Yep.
they would be able to sign up with Hoopla right there, right on your screen then. Then they
Correct.
have to, okay.
Yep. And we know I run into this all the time in some markets, especially like around your guys' market where a lot of patrons have multiple library cards.
Mhm.
So you can have multiple Hoopla accounts. So if you have an account with, let's say, Detroit Public, and then you have one with Dearborn Heights, you can definitely do that. You just got to log in and out to switch between the accounts.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So when you log in, you're going to have some options. So as I mentioned, we have 6 formats available. And if you hover over Browse up here, you're going to see all the different formats that we have. We have the audiobooks, we have movies, we have music, comics, ebooks, and television. I don't want to spend a ton of time getting into a ton of the details on these, but a few things I want to point out. So when you log in, it will always default you to audiobooks. But if you want to go to a different format, maybe you're not an audiobook listener, you'd rather read an ebook or watch a movie, you can simply click up here and click on the format that you want to go to that you're most interested in learning about. Maybe there's a title that you want to just see, hey, I know Hoopla has 900,000 titles. Let me type it up here, just like a normal search bar you would have on like Amazon or any of the other sites that you use on the commercial side. You can type it in, hit enter, and it's going to return what we have or what we have similar to that item. If you want to narrow it down, there's a little drop down. So if you said, hey, I want to see Harry Potter, but I only want to see if it's available in audiobooks, you could click on audiobooks, you can type in Harry Potter and hit enter, and it's going to bring back results for what we have in that format. So it's a real quick, easy way for you to kind of narrow down those 900,000 titles that we have to really get down to what you're interested in. Now, the other thing I want to point out too is maybe you want to have a better faceted search option where you really want to deep dive in. We did build out, and this is available in the mobile apps as well, advanced search. So if you click on this, you can type in a title, you can search people. So maybe hey, I know the actor in the movie, but I don't remember the title, or I know the author. You can type that in, you can do the formats. Maybe you want to search by release date or date it was added or language. This is a big one. This is actually huge. So one thing we pride ourselves on at Hoopla is we have the largest foreign material collection available to libraries. We have over 75 languages. And, a lot of times I can't tell you how many people I talk to that, hey, I really want to find that Spanish collection or German collection. You can come in here and you can actually really narrow it down. If you wanted to see what we have on Hoopla in Danish, you can click on that. And then here at the bottom, you can just click on the submit, and it will bring back everything that we have. It looks like we have 438 titles that are in Danish. So you can really narrow down to the language that you're looking for. So we'll start over here on audiobooks. Kind of want to walk you through just kind of the layout and the feel of this. So the first thing you're going to notice is when you're on a page, we do have scrolling banner ads up at the top. These are completely clickable, meaning if you like seeing our book club title that we picked, the fixed star, you can click on it and it's going to take you right to the collection that we have of audiobooks and ebooks, so you can borrow or read up on them. So I did want to share that on every format that we have, there's always going to be a scrolling banner added, and if anything kind of catches your eye that you want to explore a little further, you can definitely click on the ad and see what collection we have in there. If you scroll a little bit further down, you're going to see some of the content. So as I mentioned, we have over 100,000 audiobooks available. So we have a few different things in here to quickly get down to what you're looking for. So the first one is popular. So these are the most popular audiobooks that we have on the service today. This isn't what Hoopla is dictating is popular. This is actually what all 3,000 library systems that are offering our service, what their patrons are borrowing, because we want to highlight these. So these are ones that are actually in hot demand, that are being borrowed quite a bit. We also have a couple different options. Maybe you want to look at our featured ones. So these are going to be ones, audiobook collections that we're just featuring. Maybe it's topical, it's that time. So we want to highlight different things. These are our featured audiobook collection that we have available. The other thing I like to share too is recommended. So as I'm sure you might have used is like Netflix or Hulu, and you start borrowing titles, all of a sudden, you know, they're recommending titles to you because, hey, you watch this, you might be interested in something like this. We did build it out on Hoopla to do the same exact thing, but we did it with an option because we know sometimes you borrow something on accident. Maybe one of your kids grabs your tablet and borrows something, and now all of a sudden you're getting all these maybe romance items, you know, or political items added to you. So I do want to show you here in a little bit that you can update your recommendations, but if you do borrow titles in this recommended section, it's going to give you similar titles that the system feels you might be interested in by your previous borrow history. So I borrow on this test account quite a bit of fantasy and you know, action adventure stuff. So it's kind of recommending me some of those titles that it feels I would be interested in. If you do go down to the very bottom though, as I mentioned, there is a recommendation setting. So if some of this stuff down here isn't what you're interested in, for every format, we have all the different genres. So you can simply click on, let's say, hey, I don't want teen, but I'd rather have, you know, Westerns. You can actually change around what you have recommending to you. So that way it's actually recommending stuff that you're mainly interested in. So don't worry that, hey, I'm tied to the end of times on the stuff that the system's making me, it thinks I'm interested in. You always have the option to change up on each format. So maybe you want to have, you know, travel audiobooks, but you really don't want to have anything like that on the movie side. You can change up your recommendations to make them more customized to what you're looking for. So what I want to do now is take you through kind of the audiobook borrow experience. So let's say we have a title here, Big Nate. Let's borrow this one. So if you click on it, you can actually get a little synopsis of what this is. You can see the release year. You can see if you're big on the publisher, you know, who this is released by. The language is always going to be up here if it's abridged or unabridged, the runtime. You will notice we have social media. We know that's a big one right now. A lot of people like to let the world know what they're listening to or watching. So you can quickly tag not only the title you're listening to or watching, but also tag the library. So it's a great way for you to stay connected with your local library system. You'll notice we allow peer ratings. So this title has 325 ratings from other patrons throughout the North America. And you can see how many stars they've given it. So you can see even before you borrow it. The borrow button obviously does just that, just like a library. Once you click it, it's yours for the 21 days for this title. The thing I do want to let you know, obviously, since we are a different model with no holds, once you do click borrow, that does count against your borrow limit of 15. So even if you quickly return it, it doesn't return that borrow to you. So one thing I would stress is just make sure you guys are really careful and kind of make sure that this is a title that you want to borrow today, that you have time to watch or listen to or read. If you don't, we give you some options. So this heart icon, if you click on this, it's going to add it to your favorites, which I'll get into here in a few minutes. But, you know, we know we have a lot of content on Hoopla, so a lot of times you might find some stuff, but you're not ready to listen, read, or watch. You want to just put it in your own folder. That's the easiest way. You just want to move it and put it in your own folder, so that way, instead of you having to dive back into everything we have on the service, you can just go to your favorites folder and see everything you've added. So it's another way for you to kind of curate your own collections. So that is an option. It doesn't borrow it, but it just puts it into another folder for you so you can quickly find in the future when you are ready to borrow. A couple other things on this screen is anywhere you see these hyperlinks, you can click on. So maybe you want to see similar artists. You can click on and see the different collections that we have with that person. Rob, did you have a question that came up? No, okay. The other thing too is related titles. So if we have some other related titles on the service, we'll always list those at the bottom down here for you as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and borrow this title. So all I have to do is click on the borrow icon. It will tell you. So it gives you one last chance. This is telling you, hey, if you borrow this, you have 21 days. So it's going to make sure it puts it front and center for you so you don't accidentally hit that borrow button and then you're out one. For this scenario, we're going to go ahead and click borrow title. It's going to bring it up. It once again will let you know that this title is going to return on October 27th. You can stream it in your browser or download it. So that's something I'll talk about here in a minute. The other thing I want to share with you too is kids mode. So if you haven't used a feature that we have available on Hoopla before, so with my account, it's going to always prompt these. It does give you a quick tutorial. So that is what this is. And I'm going to share what kids mode is here in a few moments. But if you haven't used it before, since I'm borrowing a kids item, it's going to prompt you and let you know, hey, there's a quick, easy way for you to filter out and get to just all the kids material. So the title's borrowed. We'll go into play here. You'll notice, I don't want to blare this, so let me pause it. You'll notice at the bottom is where the play screen's at. Now, we designed it this way because we want you guys to be able to still explore Hoopla if you want. So maybe you want to look around the website a little more. You can do that. Your controls will be right down here. But if you want to have this just play in the background, maybe you're at work or something, you can always expand the play option here. So if you click the little arrow, it brings it up. You'll notice you have your volume controls over here. You'll have different play options. So especially with the audiobooks, I know there are some people that like the chipmunk speed where it goes super fast. Some like to have it read a little slower. You can actually change the playback speed just by clicking on these to change. And we go all the way up to, I think, 1.5% speed increase. The other big one, this is really kind of popular, is being able to set a timer. You know, I know a lot of people listen to audiobooks before they fall asleep, and they don't want it to go so far in advance, you know, because they fell asleep. So maybe they want to set a timer so they can pick between 15 and an hour. And then at that point, it automatically turns it off when that time's reached. So you don't have to worry about it getting too far out in advance for you. The other option in the audiobooks is bookmarks. So we allow you guys to set your own bookmarks. So if maybe you get to a spot in an audiobook and you're like, gosh, this is great. I need to save this to kind of come back to this spot. You can actually click on the little bookmark icon here and it will tell you bookmark saved. And then if you click over on this guy, you're going to see all the bookmarks that you saved. Now, the other thing I like to point out too, let's say you ran out of time on this audiobook and it automatically returned and you want to get it again. These bookmarks that you saved will automatically come back with your next borrowed for the same title. So you don't have to worry about having to redo all that work again. It does stay with the title, with the user and the title. So you won't ever have to worry about resetting your bookmarks or anything like that. Now, the other nice thing is down here, we have a slider bar so you can quickly get to where you want to go in the audiobook. You'll have a rewind by 30 seconds, a fast forward by 30 seconds. It will tell you again when this title is going to return. And then you will notice, this is something unique to Hoopla, but if you have any issues with any of the content, I know this is a big thing. Maybe you have a question. Maybe there's something that's just not working right on the audiobook or the ebook or the movie. You can click on the problem. You can pick kind of a quick one here. Hey, my browser plugin isn't working. You can put a synopsis in, and you can send this directly to our tech team. We don't work with phone support, but we do work through email support. So you will get an email response typically within 24 hours, even on the weekends, with a solution to your issue, or at least acknowledging, hey, thanks for alerting us to the content. We'll get this taken down and fixed and put back up. So we want to make sure you guys have an avenue. We know a lot of times people are using Hoopla, especially in the after hours. So being able to have that outlet to at least alert us and let us help you guys get up and running, that is something that's available to you in the app and the website for you. Okay. Now, the next one I want to get on here is movies. So the first thing I want to point out, a few things with the movies. You'll see the same look and feel that we had for audiobooks. All of our videos we have on Hoopla are closed captioned, meaning we're probably the most accessible service in the market. So you don't have to worry about, if you would like to read with subtitles and things like that, all of our videos are closed captioned. That's one of the requirements we have with the studios to be able to have their content on our service, is they have to give us the content that is closed captioned, because we know we want this to be a service that's accessible to everybody in the community. So that's something we're pretty passionate about. You will notice we have the same things here. The one thing I do want to point out is we do have categories. So as I mentioned, we have a lot of material. This unfortunately is it's a lot of bubbles, but it's kind of the cleanest way we can do this to really get down to what you're looking for. So anytime you click on categories, you're going to find a lot of different collections that we've built. So maybe you want to see food and health. You would just click on the bubble and it will take you to the collection we built for food and health. I didn't hit on that one first, but I did want to share that we do have collections in all the formats as well. It's not as pretty looking as like the scrolling banner ads, but it's definitely a quick way for you to get down to what you're looking for. The videos will work pretty similar to the audiobooks. One big key difference would be let's get down here. The borrow limit's a little bit different. So this one is this 3-day borrow. So all the videos are 3 days, as I mentioned earlier. But once you borrow it, as soon as we can get this, we'll resume. You probably will not be able to see this, so I don't want to play it if I don't have to. There we go. So you'll notice, and I don't know if you can see this, because I know on GoToMeeting sometimes it doesn't show the play screen for video, but it is designed just like Netflix, meaning you have the scrolling banner ads, you have your volume control. If you have Chromecast hooked up, that's where you'd have your little symbols up here as well. You can change some of the settings. So maybe you want the text color to be different. Maybe you want the size to be different. Edge lines, things like that, you can do as well. You can go full screen, which is right here. And then this little icon, which is right next to the, how many minutes this video is where you can put the subtitles on and off. The exclamation point, this is another key difference. This is actually where you would report a problem. So maybe the video is missing a part, maybe it's skipping, maybe it's not even working on your device. This is where you would click and you can let us know what the issue is, and our tech team can respond back to you via email with the solution. Since we were talking about movies, I do want to jump over to television. Same exact thing. The only difference is with television is per the studios, they require us to borrow these out by the episode. So you'll notice the play or the borrow button is not under this right here. You would actually have to scroll down and borrow the individual episodes. That isn't a Hoopla decision. It's just unfortunately, the studios, however they distribute those videos, if it's episodic, we have to list them episodic wise. So that is one thing that's a little bit different between the movies and the television. But it's definitely, we have a pretty good selection of television series. I think we have 22,000 episodes available. You know, everything from travel series, exercise, to some BBC and, you know, Acorn TV and things like that that are all in our collection. A few other formats here, as I mentioned, music. Definitely, this is a collection that you know, is pretty exciting for libraries because what it is, we do have the largest digital collection of music. We work with all the major providers except for Sony. Our music is day and date, so the day it releases physically, it is available on Hoopla unless it's a Sony album. So like if Taylor Swift releases a new album or, you know, something brand new releases, we're going to have it available. What's a little bit different though, I don't know if you've used any of the other music services out there, is the borrow is actually the entire album. So if you click on, yes, Rob.
Yeah, Lynn asked, does the TV option also have closed caption?
It does. Yep. All our videos, every video on our service has closed caption.
Thank you.
Yep. And then the other thing I should point out too, accessibility, we also do work with JAWS and VoiceOver. So we kind of cover all our bases. It's something that's pretty near and dear to our owners, is making sure our service is accessible to everybody. So by no means are we perfect, but we do have 2 full-time testers that test on those different platforms. We also partner with the Carroll Center for the Blind in Boston. Once a quarter, we send them our new website and our new mobile apps, and they run it through their team there to ensure that it's working as good as it can. So I do like to share that as well. Accessibility is a huge key for our organization. So great question. So the music, as I mentioned, this is The Greatest Showman. You'll notice for one borrow, you get the entire album. This is kind of unique. A lot of other services, you borrow just a song, but this, we were able to work with a lot of the labels, and they love the idea of being able to get the entire album just like it is physically out to patrons. Because for one, you know, a lot of songs on albums probably would never get listened to if, you know, they just find the songs they're really interested in. So this actually allows you guys to be able to explore the service, explore that album a little more in depth, and that artist as well. But what's really cool with our music, as I mentioned, is it's all day and date, but we do have some cool options. So I'm going to borrow this title here real quick. As I mentioned, music is 7 days from the time you click that borrow button. We'll go ahead and click play here. So I want to pause as soon as I can. Okay. So what's really neat about this, let's say I had 2 or 3 albums I borrowed. I actually had a library I called on out west, my old territory, and they shared a story with me at the holidays last year. They used Hoopla, and what she did is she borrowed a lot of holiday albums, and what she wanted to do is just shuffle the albums. So, and Hoopla allows you to do that. So if you have multiple music albums borrowed, you can actually not only play the titles that you're looking for, but you can actually click on these and shuffle between just this album or all albums. So if you have, let's say, 4 holiday albums that you borrowed and you want to have family and friends over and just have holiday music playing in the background, or maybe summer music or whatever it is, you can do that. You can click play and it's going to shuffle between the multiple albums that you've borrowed as a great way for like a playlist and things like that. The controls are going to work similar to what you have on like Spotify and things like that. You have your fast forward, your rewind. You can jump right to a song, so you can just click on the one you're most interested in. You'll have your volume control up here. And then down here's your problem icon as well. So once again, if you're having trouble, you're not able to get something to work, you can let us know and let us help you get that up and running. The other ones here, comics and graphic novels. We are the largest provider of digital graphic novels and comics. We do work with all the major providers and a lot of the minors as well. Some of these are day and date with the digital release. Some are embargoed, meaning they might not be available on Hoopla for 60 days or something. It just really depends on what the provider of the graphic novel is comfortable with allowing us to have. But what's really cool on these is, let's borrow, stick with the big Nates here. Same look and feel as all the other formats. We want to keep it real similar and, you know, kind of, so that way it's not a whole new learning experience or anything. But what we did is we actually, the traditional graphic novel and comics digitally has always been a poor experience. A lot of patrons, you know, especially right now with mobile devices being so popular, you know, you'd spend a lot of time on like an iPhone pinching and zooming, you lose a lot of the great artwork. So what we wanted to do is we actually do what's called Action View. We have a team here at Hoopla that actually every graphic novel and comic that we ingest, we panel. Meaning if you go into Action View, which on the PC is just a tap, or on the mobile device is just a tap on the screen, it puts you into Action View, which allows you to be able to easily read this. I already have bad eyes, I got the glasses, but you're able to read the context, you're not missing any of the great artwork, and then you can read it just like an ebook. You know, you can scroll or swipe on your mobile device, and it's gonna go panel to panel. So you're not missing anything, you're not, you know, struggling with the pinch and zoom option. You can just stay in Action View and read your comic or graphic novel just like that. If you want to get out, it's just simply tap again. It puts you back into normal view, which would just look like this if you're going page to page. Now, a couple options in comics. We do have obviously a way to exit. So if you're done reading the comic, you can click on there and click exit. You can read comic details. So this is just a synopsis of what this comic is. So another option for you. Help. Once again, if you have some questions or want to read up you know, on how to get into Action View, the help section is a great way to do so. Report an error. That's the same as all the other ones. So if you're having an issue, maybe something's not captioned right on here, let us know. We'll get that fixed. We'll get you guys resolved as fast as we can. Page list is just, maybe you know the page you want to go to. Hey, I need to go to page 40. You can click on that and it's going to take you right over to that page. The other thing is under settings, you can change. So we have some different options. Maybe, you know, maybe Action View isn't for you. You want to have like a magnifying glass. So if you enable this, that's going to give you every time you're over and you hover, you can get a magnifying glass. I don't personally use it. I prefer Action View, but I know there are some patrons that I've chatted with before that love having this option. They didn't really like the Action View experience, so they just like to use their mouse or their finger to kind of get that magnifying glass to really zoom in. So that's an option for you. You can also change some of the settings for the Action View as well. All right, the last format we're going to touch on here, and then we're going to get into some of the kind of admin side stuff here, but is our ebooks. Our ebook collection is the largest collection we have on Hoopla. We have over 410,000 ebooks. We do work with like I think 3 or 4 of the big publishers right now, and then a lot of the little publishers as well. Some of these are day and date with the physical release. Some are embargoed, so you might not have the brand new, you know, ebook that just released available on Hoopla right away. But chances are, if you wait a little bit, it's going to be available on here with no holds. What's really cool about this, let's go over here to Disloyal here. Same look and feel. You have the same hyperlinks, same, I mean, we wanted to keep it very similar. As my mouse starts working here, we'll go ahead and borrow this title. This is 21 days, so once again, it will tell you. Our e-reader has really enhanced. We had a major release about a month ago now, and it's really cool on our mobile app. So we are one of the only vendors right now with an ebook platform that allows you to, typically with most services, you scroll, you know, left to right and right to left to advance and go back and forth in an ebook. Our new apps actually allow you to read it up and down. So you can just keep scrolling down. So that was something, our new e-reader platform on our mobile devices, we're getting some rave reviews right now in the Apple and Amazon store that they love that feature. I think we're like one of the only ones out there that are doing that. But our ebooks are pretty similar to other services, especially on the PC here. I'm going to advance here a little bit. So first thing I want to share with you is this little 3 lines up here in the corner. If you click on that, you're going to get some options. If you want to go to a certain chapter, you can go click on it. You can go right to that chapter and read it. So maybe I don't know, started reading this book on another service and it expired. You can get it on Hoopla. You can go right to the chapter you left off on. You can set bookmarks. So just like we did allow you guys to do on the audiobook side, the same icon for bookmarks. So if there's a page you really want to bookmark and go back to, you can create your own, I call them your own little placeholders, but you can quickly, you know, go right to those bookmarks that you've created. You can highlight titles. So maybe, you know, especially for like students and things like that, or maybe book clubs, you're like, hey, I need to remember this. You can highlight it and click the highlight button and it will actually highlight it. So anything that you've highlighted will actually show up here in the page and all that fun stuff that it was on. You could add a note. So if you wanted to say, hey, this is, you know, whatever it might be, you could put that in there as well. So this is a great, especially on the education side, this is something I think that's top notch. The other thing is under settings, as you can see, I have the mint background. We allow you some different background colors. So I know some people like the traditional white background. Some like to have like that off-white gray, the dark background. You can definitely change that up. You can change your screen brightness, the font. So maybe you don't like the font it's in. This I do want to share. We are tied to what the publisher allows. So some publishers, so this one is one that it has to be in this context. So it doesn't allow like New Romans or anything like that. Other ones will have multiple different options. So you can change the different fonts. So if you want to have it look a little bit different or the text to look a little different, but it's dictated by the publisher. You can also change the font size. So maybe on your screen, it's a little small. You can drag up and down, you know, and have it a little larger. It does rescale the whole ebook. So you'll notice it'll take a few minutes for it to really work its way through and get everything scaled back up to size. I know some readers really like to have their text bolded. So you can click on this and you can bold all the text that's on Hoopla, on the Hoopla ebook side for you as well. A little further down, you can change your line spacings, margin size, text alignment. You know, if you want to have it 2 columns or 1, so some people like to have the double column side by side. Once again, this could take a couple minutes depending on the size of the ebook, just because it's got to go and reshuffle everything out for you on the ebook side. And then this one, as I mentioned, vertical scrolling. So instead of going side to side, if you have this activated, this is going to allow you to read the ebook just by scrolling down. You don't have to go page by page anymore. It's just going to keep working its way down. So this is something where I think we're one of the only guys in the game that's doing vertical scrolling ebooks. A few other things I like to share is we do have, with many of our ebooks, we have dyslexic font. So you can put it into dyslexic font for, we know we have some readers that read that way. So that is available on a lot of our our ebooks as well. So Okay, a few other things I wanted to point out here before we kind of go back, and I'll show you some screenshots of the mobile app. Kids mode. So on the app and on the website, you'll see a kids icon at the top. That's not just there randomly. We know that there's a lot of parents that love Hoopla, but they want to make sure that their kids aren't seeing some stuff that's maybe not suitable for them. We also know there's a lot of kids that don't want to see that stuff. They just want to see stuff that's interest to them. So anywhere you see kids, if you tap on it or click on it, it's going to change Hoopla to a kids-friendly mode, meaning all 6 formats, doesn't matter if they're on audiobooks, ebooks, or comics, is going to be in kids mode, which is only going to show you guys what is suitable for kids 12 and under. You will notice there is no more scrolling banner ads. There's no more popular, or categories or anything like that. It's simply just a quick filter for parents to be able to put their account into kids-friendly mode and not have to worry about them borrowing something they shouldn't. Now, to get out of kids mode, very simple. You can either just re-click on this, and once the check mark's gone, you're back to normal mode. So you can see everything that we have available in all formats. The gear icon, just like every other site, is your settings. So in here, you can do a little more customizing. One thing we do is we do send you some emails from time to time to let you know, hey, here's some new items that you've borrowed in the past, but here's some new stuff that's coming. We kind of alert you guys. If you don't want to receive those, you can change this from yes to no. Kids mode, this is another option for you to put it into kids mode instead of clicking up here. We know privacy is a big thing. So I do want to share, we never store a patron in a borrow. So if you ever want to get rid of your or hide your borrowing history, you can click it off here. You can also log out of your Hoopla account too. So if you want to log out for some reason, because it's automatically going to keep you logged in, but maybe you're on a public PC, you'd want to make sure you log out. A few other options in the settings is, let's say you changed libraries, you moved, I'm down here in Toledo, Ohio. So maybe I moved up to, the Dearborn Heights area, and I want to change my library from Toledo, Lucas County to Dearborn Heights. This is where you can do it. You can type in your library, or it will populate your closest ones to you. You then put in your library card number for your new library and click save. And then your account will update, and now you will start taking, being able to use your new library, account. So you don't have to set up a new account. You can just kind of move everything over to your new library. In settings as well, another recommendation. So this is another way to get to it. So you can go into your settings, go to recommendations, and change up what's being recommended to you. The other thing, email. This doesn't happen a ton, but there are times where, maybe somebody used their work email and they're maybe retiring and now they have to use their personal email. This is how you can update your email on your own. You can go into Hoopla, you can go to settings, click email, and you can change your email address that you registered with. You can even change your password that you used to create your Hoopla account. So maybe, you feel your password was compromised. You can actually change that to something else, all in here, and click save. If you can't remember your current password, there's a reset password. So just like other sites, to really get you back up and going, we wanted to give a lot of power to you guys to be able to do a lot of the managing on your own. So I do always like to share that the settings icon is a great tool for you guys to do some of that account management. If you, the other thing you might want to keep in mind too, maybe you're not changing libraries, but you got a new library card. This is where you would do it. So you keep it Dearborn Heights, but you just put in your new library card and click save, and it will update your account on Hoopla too. A few other things, the My Hoopla section. So if you hover over it, it's going to bring it up. The My Hoopla current borrowed favorites. So everything that we favorited today, which was one thing, but this is where you will see everything that you've put in your favorites folder. I'll click on that. show you this one. So you can also favorite artists and authors. So if you really like an artist, you can click on it and favorite them. So anytime there's anything new from them, it will throw it in your favorites for you. But you'll see all the different things I threw in favorites, doing these demos, so you can quickly get to what you were looking for and interested in. The My Hoopla, if we click on this one, this is just everything that you have borrowed. So this is going to show you everything that you currently borrowed, recommended titles here, favorites is all on this main page as well, so you don't have to click into the favorites folder. You know, we have your borrowing history, so you can actually, maybe there was something that you borrowed in the past that you're like, man, I don't remember what that was. You can get in here, you can find it. You know, you can also get rid of it. So if you're like, hey, I don't want this one, let's get rid of that. It now deletes it from your borrowed section. Or you can clear all history. So if you click on this, it wipes it all out. Current borrowed is just like My Hoopla. It just focuses solely on current borrowed, and then history solely on history. So if you want to do current and favorites and history all in one, My Hoopla is your spot to go, because that's going to be where you can do everything at a more of a high level. The other thing I want to point out too, if you ever want to just send general feedback to Hoopla, there's a submit feedback option in here. We also have a help section. So if you're ever curious or want to do some kind of investigating yourself, you can click in here. These are a lot of our frequently asked questions that we kind of put on, you know, website basics. There's some videos in here as well to watch. So it's a quick, easy way for you to do a lot of learning on your own, you know, if you don't feel comfortable reaching out to us for some help too. So guys, what I'm going to do is hop out of this, and hopefully I don't lose you here. You should be seeing, let me just make sure. Rob, are you seeing my time to play?
No, it's still on the need some help screen.
Okay, let's try to find where. Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. All right, so now you should see time to play, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I did grab a couple screenshots from obviously our iOS app and our Android app, but for time purposes, I didn't feel like we would have enough time to go through all the different options. So I wanted to take some screenshots just to show you how similar it is to the website. So you will notice we have the scrolling banner ads that will display when you're on a certain format. You'll notice the differences here, movies and television. This is the iOS app, so you'll notice video icons. So if you click on video, you can toggle between movies and television, but it will work just like it does on the website. You tap on the movie you want, you can read up on it, you can click your borrow button. Genres is kind of like collections that was on the website. So that is where those little bubbles we had, this is just a list of text that you can click on to get to the collection that you're really looking for. This is a mock-up, a screen grab of the Android app and the Amazon app. It will look a little bit different. Your formats are right up here at the front. So if you want to go to the audiobooks, you can do that. But this is just a screen grab of what it looks like on your kind of My Hoopla section. So you can see what you currently have borrowed, all that fun stuff. But you'll notice kids mode's up here that you can just tap on and go to kids friendly mode too. So guys, that is the Hoopla experience. Hopefully I didn't lose anybody. I know it's a lot to kind of take in, especially on a Tuesday evening, but I kind of want to open it up. Is there any questions or anything I can clarify for you?
Anyone can either put your question in chat or just open your mic and ask.
And I know Rob's recording this, so you know, he definitely, I know he said he'd have this up on YouTube here shortly, so you can always rewatch. But you know, the one thing I always want to point out is we always have avenues to help you if you have questions too on the submit feedback side.
Well, I have one question.
Okay.
When you were on the comics thing and you were able to do it from like one picture at a time,
Okay.
were you are you able to like just hit a button and it goes to the next screen, or does that automatically go, or both?
So you're talking, I think I did this right now. I think we got all the kinks worked out at the end of the presentation here. So you're talking if you are in, so if you're in your book, as soon as it loads up here. So you're talking if I click on this.
Oh, no, not that. Yeah, that.
Okay. So yes, you read it just like an ebook. You can either click these guys, or I just use my my keyboard arrows, and you can just click and read. You don't have to do anything else. And it goes page to page too.
Is there a way to do it where you press something and it just times it like so many seconds per panel and goes to the next?
We don't have that, no.
Okay.
Nope. That's a good suggestion, though. I didn't even think about that one. I can definitely pass that one up, but no, that's something we don't have built in for the comic e-reader side of things.
Okay.
Looks like Micmac has a question. Is Hoopla expanding its agreements to include more publishers, or do you have agreements with them all now?
So yeah, it's a great question. So we do have agreements with a lot of the publishers, but not all. The nice thing with Hoopla is we do add over 10,000 titles a month to the service, so it continues to expand. We do have, so just to kind of put it in context here, so for audiobooks, there's 5 major big publishers. We do work with 4 out of the big 5. For ebooks, we work with 3 out of the big 5. It is getting easier and easier. You know, Hoopla is kind of the new kid on the block, so it's kind of a learning experience for publishers to get comfortable with our model. So we don't work with them all, but I'm pretty confident down the road we will be. You know, as we've, just to put it this way, when I started with the company, I started when we first launched, and we had, I think, 15,000 titles on our service, and we're over 900,000 now in almost 10 years. So it's definitely something I feel in the next 5-6 years is going to be completely different, but we continue to work that way. But we just want to make sure, you know, we have all our bases covered before we sign deals with publishers. But yes, we continue to kind of expand our offering there.
How long has Hoopla been around?
So we launched in early 2013 is when we went out to beta. We did about a 6-8 month beta process, and then we launched it out to all libraries. We're currently in North America, but we are actually, next month will be our first handful of libraries in Australia. So we continue to grow. We're actually looking at some other worldwide markets, which is going to actually benefit libraries, because this is actually going to give us access to content we've never been able to get, especially foreign material and things like that. So yeah, we're getting ready to, we just signed our first handful of Australian library systems. So we're going to be kind of global here pretty soon. And just so everybody knows too, we're based in Toledo, Ohio. We've been in the library market for over 30 years. We got our start selling physical AV. Our owner used to drive his minivan around and sell used VHS tapes. back in the mid 80s, and it's kind of expanded from there. We have almost 400 employees now, and we're in all the states, all the, up in Canada as well. We have, I think, 5 offices throughout the North America and a 6th one in Australia now. So it's definitely, it's a growing market, but our only customers are libraries. So everything we do is centered around our library partners.
There was addition, McMack asked, does the pay-per-use model encourage publishers to sign on?
Yeah, there's been a big change in the publishing world as of late. I don't want to get too much in detail, but pretty much everything publishers sell, at least the major guys, is some sort of pay-per-use. It's just a lot of times libraries aren't sure what the pay-per-use cost is until the meter expires on some of those front list titles. So yeah, they're definitely coming around. I think they're seeing how it's beneficial for the library, it's beneficial for them, and for you guys to be able to instantly meet demand. So yeah, it's definitely, I'm seeing a big change, especially over the last handful of years, that publishers and even studios are really starting to see the value.
Well, this is very informative. I enjoyed it. I'm anxious to start searching for all the things I want to save my favorites.
Yeah, it's definitely, and the other thing I want to share, guys, is we kind of pride ourselves on kind of pushing the market a little bit. So we update our app and our website. Just to put it in context, in 2019, we did 2,200 updates to the website and the mobile apps, which is more than I could probably say other companies do. And we try to stay top notch. So feedback, this is something I preach in my meetings to libraries, is let us know how we can improve, because this is your service. We want to make sure it's working, it's doing what you guys need. So definitely keep the information coming to the library. The library keeps the information coming to us, so we can continue to evolve and build a great service for you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, well, Corey, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Rob. And, I really appreciated, the time to come up and chat with everybody. But yeah, I look forward to continuing the partnership. And if you get any other questions after you put this out on YouTube, let me know.
Okay, I will. Okay.
Right.
All right, well, I will end the recording now. No, not there.